What's up, fam? It's your boy Brian the Casual Brian, or Brian Casually Watches Anime, and today I have a very special guest, John Marco Ask, and we are very, very thankful. I don't know why I'm saying we; it's just me, but I am very thankful to have him here. What's up, John?
What's up? I mean, there is we. I mean, we're on stream, so you never know who might be popping in and out. But I'm very grateful to be here.
True,
Thank you so much, Brian, for
true,
having
very
me.
true.
I think I started following you like a few months ago. I loved like your content. I was just like, oh, this is such a like really cool, fresh approach. I come from like the YouTube like side of like content when it comes to like anime content, video game content.
Yeah,
So I love just like video essay style videos. So to see somebody like you doing a similar thing but in a shorter form, like I was like, oh, this is so cool. And we actually just met recently at MegaCon for the
yeah,
first time, which is very awesome. We do have a video comparing Naruto and Luffy.
yes,
I think in general it was received very well. Not a lot of hate, but you know, there's always gonna be a
yeah.
little bit of hate.
I was
But
nervous.
yeah, man, I'm
I was
glad to
nervous.
be here. Yeah. It's funny because like I think like I notice now like when people are visibly nervous in my interviews, and I think it's because before they used to just like get their shit off. Sorry, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah,
Probably
you
not,
are.
right?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's
People
fine.
get on the interviews like to get their shit off, but now like that they know it has a chance of like reaching people, I find
Yeah,
people are like I don't know what to say, like I don't want to, like I've seen how
no,
his comment sections can get, like, or any anime comment
no.
sections.
Yeah, any anime
Um
comedy.
yeah, it's I mean, we see it going crazy right now with the Gachiaka debacle.
Oh
It's
my
going crazy on
gosh.
the timeline right now. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. Glad that we got to meet, and glad that it's manifesting into things like this because this is awesome.
Yeah, man, me too. Just because you brought it up, I want to talk about that because that's such an interesting situation that's happening with the Gachiakata fandom, and it's like twofold backlash. Like, so there's the bullying, but then there's the blame for the bullying being placed on the black community. It's just so wild, and seeing like creators getting caught up in this. I'm like, this is where being an older anime fan kind of is. It's crazy to me because like there was no community, there was no fandom back in the day. It was just like you knew like one other person who watched anime, and so I'm like, you guys don't even realize how like blessed we are to have this
Hmm.
amazing anime, this amazing community, but like everyone just seems like they want to like cancel each other and like you know what I'm saying? It just feels like, why is there so much toxicity within the community when it should be like we should all be like very happy that we're getting so much anime, so many different stories, from Frieren to Solo Leveling to JJK to, what's a random one, Delicious in Dungeon. I mean, there's so many amazing stories out, and Gachiakata is one of them. So I can't believe people bullying her to the point where she has to delete her ex account, man. She's back though.
Yeah, I saw that. I think she said she came back just because just to help she doesn't want like impersonators. So that was like a
Mm,
big reason so that she
smart.
can actually still have the account active so that she can be like the verified I forget her name. Uh but
K
that's I don't think she's
Iwana.
gonna be active on it.
Oh, I see. She's active on Instagram though, so you know
Yeah,
it's
she's
it's
active on Instagram.
it's tough, man. In the anime space, I get some pretty nasty messages in my DM, man. Like you would,
Really?
I'd say you'd be surprised, but I don't know what you get. So it's like
So
I'm like,
I
man.
don't I my DMs are very dry, which I'm glad about, but I think it's because mostly I do interviews. So
Hmm.
like I get to kind of hide behind like the veil of like an interviewer half the time. And but
Yeah.
I have heard situations, especially like women on that I've interviewed that like have gotten really nasty comments from a hot take that they maybe did, or even just like a list. Um, like people have gone like as crazy as there's this one girl that I interviewed, Lisa Wallen, very funny comedian. She does like
Hmm.
anime and video game like related
Oh, I
comedy,
think I know
which
what
is
you're
like
talking about.
yeah, so they went as far as to like go into her YouTube stand-up special and like leave like hate comments down like her thing just off of her anime takes. And
That's
like
what I'm
I think
talking
her
about.
anime take was like women are a big reason why anime became popular in the 90s.
Yes, I know exactly what video you're talking about.
Yeah, which honestly, I feel her. I think it's a two-way street. But to bring it back to the Gachiakata thing and just like how people treat women online, um,
Hmm.
there's a few ways that I look at this situation from a macro like standpoint. I just feel like social media is just a reflection of just where we're at right now as like a society, not to get like too deep or too
Yeah.
political, but I do feel
No, get deep.
people
That's what we
are
do.
yeah, I do feel like people are in struggling times right now. I do feel like
Yeah.
tensions are extremely high politically, and social media is the easiest way to just like basically trauma dump all of that into social media and project that into people that we don't
Yeah.
know. So you probably feel that as a black content creator covering anime where it can be like extremely racist space.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't what my question is like I with everything going on right now, it kind of is on par with what's happening in every niche. I think things are extremely racially charged. People are
Yeah.
extremely like sensitive on both sides for with good reason because it is tough times right now. Like I don't know, people talk about just like the golden age of like I don't know, like the early like mid like 2008, 2009 like where like YouTube was just like chocolate rain and like it was
Yeah.
like people would go on the internet for laughs, and now it's like it's just not
Yeah.
that anymore. And it's due to the access, and it's a double-edged sword because in real life I get to meet people like you, but then there's like the
Yeah.
toxic side of thing that I think has
Right.
always existed. There's just now that springboard for it. And like the fact that everybody is kind of hurting right now, especially financially. Like people don't talk about this
Yeah.
recession that we're in. Like people are
It's tough.
inside because they can't afford to live their lives outside. So like they're taking out their
Bam.
frustrations on their favorite content creators, and they're always looking for somebody to blame. So even just the
Yeah.
person, the mangaka for Gachiakata deleting her account, it's like, okay, well, who's at fault for this? Like, even though we don't really know exactly why she did it, yeah, there's like extenuating circumstances like the bullying, which is what my question was. Like, do we know like what was happening exactly that led before her like
Yeah.
quitting her page? Like,
So
how do we know it's from the cosplay community specifically?
right, that's the source that the community, that's the narrative. That's a better way to say it. The narrative
Hmm.
is she posted that
And
cosplay of
we
the
always
guy
run
using
with
the
the
leaves.
narrative.
Right. That's one of the main reasons also, man, why I started getting into content and social media is because I don't love the narratives that are said about certain things, certain people, certain, from anime to people in sports. I think that like what do we call it? Legacy media. They have
Hmm.
old and tired narratives, man, that they use to talk about people closer to our age. And I just wanted to get in and push back. And if you want, and it's not like a power, but if you want to have any say in this world, especially from politics to like what's happening with data centers, what's happening all around our world, you got to have a voice. And
Hmm.
so this is the voice. We can get online. We both have followings and we can grow our voice. You know what I mean? We can shed light on things, and it gets tricky though. We're both in programs where I don't feel like I'm restricted from what I say, but I'm always thinking about like if I post this video, will there be any consequences? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
could I possibly be removed from a program or
Mm.
demonetized? You know what I mean? Because it's this is how we pay the bills. So, but it's just
Yeah.
crazy,
No.
man. Like,
Yeah, we definitely have to toe that line a little bit. Me as an interviewee, or an interviewer, I mean, a lot of the times, like one of my favorite things is just highlighting voices from like all different communities. Because one thing that
smart,
I
yeah,
definitely um was not aware of, because I would have thought like the anime space would be like so inclusive, so opening, so welcoming, because like the number one thing you always hear is like, oh, I used to get bullied for watching anime. So it's like you wouldn't
yeah.
expect that to be like how they treat people. But definitely one thing I noticed is just like the misogyny and the racism.
Oh
Like those are
yeah,
the two biggest things.
oh
The
yeah.
misogyny and the racism is just like OnlyFans detected, opinion rejected, or just like shut up women, like all that type of stuff, like just the craziest things that I see them say towards women. And like, and
Yeah.
even then it's not even as bad as like the things that I hear them say to black cosplayers or just like anybody black in the space. Like that was something I was very not aware of. It's just like, I'll go to one of my favorite cosplayers accounts, Jay Rose. He's I forget where he's from, but he's from somewhere in the south. He always does like JoJo's cosplays, and like you go
Yeah.
into his comment section, and it's the most racist things that like you'll ever see. And I'm just like, this I actually did not know was so openly like accepted and practiced. And then you'll see even like likes on the comments, and
Yeah.
like that's why it's so important for me to highlight like women and black cosplayers. One, because like it's just a natural thing for me. Like I don't only want to talk to dudes. Like I think women
Yeah.
opinions are important. I think they offer different perspectives. I think a lot of men regurgitate the same five takes, and like women usually have their own way of looking at things, and
Yeah.
it's not usually the same thing. Um, and then also just for me growing up, I'm Dominican, so like I grew up in like black and brown spaces, so like that's also
Okay.
just like where I feel comfortable,
Yeah.
like talking to like people who remind me of like how I grew up, and those are some of the best conversations that I have, and I just think it's important. But one thing I have noticed on certain platforms, I'm not going to say because they pay
Smart.
for our bills, but there's
Smart.
this one
Smart.
interview question that I usually have. It's like, what's an anime trope you're tired of hearing? And usually it's something that kind of leans a little bit into like the answer will usually like lean into like inclusion, or something that essentially is calling for more diversity. And there's a certain
Uh-huh.
platform that always does well, and then there's a certain platform that seems to always suppress that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And I think we know
I can
which one
imagine.
got bought out by right wing media.
Yeah. You know,
But that's all
it's
I'm gonna
interesting.
say. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's interesting circling back to that the video you referenced. I remember because I agreed and disagreed with her, the comedian. Um, but I think the timing. I disagree on timing. I don't think that they were responsible for the explosion in the 90s or even the early 2000s. But I think that boom that we saw, like in the like just before the pandemic and into what we have now, maybe you can go as far as back to 2010. I think women were a big part in the community side of the anime community exploding, because then
Hmm.
it became the spot. You know what I mean? Because the spot is not where all the dudes are hanging out. You know what I mean? And when they came in, they brought their perspectives. Cosplay got bigger. Everything just got bigger and better. I mean, we know women have had a major role on the creative side. You know, Full Metal Alchemist,
Hmm.
um, Frieren, um, not My
Two
Hero,
of the
Demon
best
Slayer.
like animes ever.
Bam. I mean, Sailor. You know, people think just Sailor Moon, but it's like Inuyasha. Um, oh, there's so many. There's so many that like with female mangaka, and they're just they have such a crazy impact on the industry. So I think that yes, women had a big role bringing the community to where it's at today. But I wouldn't say the early '90s. I would give that to the hip hop culture. I would put
Yeah.
that more in hip hop and the love connection between like Japan and their culture and anime. There's always been like this like relationship between hip hop and anime. It's still there today, I think.
Yeah, I mean, even like Wu Tang, I wasn't
Yeah,
necessarily
exactly.
anime specifically, but like just so much of their stuff was Japanese coded. So like
Yeah,
RZA was out there watching Toonami back in the day, and like you felt
of
it in his
course.
music with the Shaolin swords and all that stuff. Like there's been
Yeah,
a mutual respect between, and it's mutual. Like you go to
exactly.
Japan and like some people might rub people the wrong way. So like I'm not here to tell people how to feel, but like you could tell how much Japan truly loves black culture. And like you'll see like a Japanese person with like dreads or just like breakdancing. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, am I in the Bronx right now? Like what's going because I'm from New York.
Yeah,
So it's just crazy to see that all the way across the world. And I think it's a very healthy mutual respect. I mean, two of the cultures like outside of my own, like that really like raised me. So it's like cool to see the intersection of the two.
yeah. I've always loved that because I grew up on hip hop. and I was, very much into the hip hop community. And then I played saxophone. So then I got into the jazz space, which has nothing to
Sick.
do with anime, but hip hop and anime, like that was like me growing up. So it's,
So I know you love that Cowboy Bebop intro.
you know what, man, I used to. I mean, it's a classic, but I mean, there's some really, really good anime intros, man. So it's like nowhere near my top 25, you
Well,
know.
for me, neither. But it's just more into the jazz like realm. So I thought maybe as a saxophone player that you
Oh,
would appreciate it even more.
it's a horrible thing to play. That is a crazy. Whoever played that was out of their mind, probably on some kind of bender. That thing was, it's just insane what he's playing. That whole like,
Yeah. Well,
it's like, oh my.
really quick though, since you are a hip hop fan, I know we're gonna talk anime mostly. I just want to know what your top three hip hop. What are your top three rappers?
Good question. And it has to be rappers, can't be groups, right?
It could be
Or can it
groups.
be
You can put
acts?
groups,
Okay.
acts, groups,
Um,
any hip hop artist.
um, I really loved Cannabis back in the day.
Mm,
Before he dropped his album, and he was mostly doing features. Cannabis was one of my big guys. A group called OGC, which is
okay.
affiliated with the Boot Camp Clique. So Helter Skelter, um, the Fab Five,
Yeah, yeah.
Smith and Wesson, those guys. Um, I love Raekwon.
Mm,
Um, so I'm gonna put Cannabis on the list. I'm gonna put OGC on the list. It's tempting to put like Meth or Raekwon on there. I think Raekwon is the best from Wu Tang. Inspector Deck is also insane, but sometimes he can just be too lyrically minded that like the song doesn't really do anything. But that's true for all Wu Tang. I'm trying to think of
Tom
like one of
atomically.
the,
So no, atomically.
yeah, that's a crazy verse. That's a
Yeah.
crazy verse. But I think on that song, I give the verse to Ghostface and Raekwon. Yeah, they kill it, man. There's a reason they put them at the end. Like they
Yeah.
kill that verse, bro. That, oh my
That
god.
back in the day, being last was like that meant so much. It was like, okay, like we'll tip our hat to you. You got the best verse. You're gonna be the last one on the song. Because that
Yeah,
back
you
in the day,
remember?
you can actually expect people to make it to the end of the song.
Oh yeah. I mean, you remember that joint with LO Nas? Okay, hold on. We got a comment. We got Nas one KRS. Can you see that?
Yeah, yeah. Nas one, KRS two, Chuck D. Damn, we got some
Chuck
like
D.
people who know ball in this. Like,
I know.
because I was surprised to see like your list. I'm like, oh, like you really about this underground stuff. Not so. I'll say mine really quick. Nas, like just from a pen perspective, like that's where I'm gonna pick my list. But Nas is definitely there.
Nas is
I gotta
legit.
put Ken. I got like I don't know like
I'm okay with
uh
Kendrick. He's insane. He's dope, and he understands music on a deeper
yeah,
level than a lot of rappers or even artists that sing. Kendrick really
yeah.
understands music and tonality.
No, yeah, but like he always like leads with the bars, which is like great for me. Like that's what I love about the new generation, like the musical like stuff that they add and the melodies. But like Kendrick he never like falters with the lyrics and the messaging. But yeah, Nas has been somebody that I've really just always been into, but like I've really grown to appreciate just as I've gotten older. Like Illmatic, it was written, like, and even the stuff he's been
Yeah,
doing with like Hit Boy has been really cool to see like just rappers like age. But yeah,
yeah.
Kendrick is there. And honestly, I love J. Cole, man. I love J. Cole. Like I'm
I
such
like
a big J. Cole fan.
J. Cole is fire. I like J. Cole too. But for me, I think about like, and you're saying like underground. I didn't even say like the underground stuff that I listen to, like Virtuoso or Jedi Knight Circle or the Mountain Brothers from Japan, Galaxies. Oh my
Uh-huh.
god, bro. Me and my like best friend from like growing up, he's now a UFC like coach. That's how we connected, man. Anime and hip hop, and we used to make like tracks back in the day, and then we would watch anime. He actually put me on to like Berserk,
Mm.
Ninja Scroll. I was watching like Dragon Ball Z at that time. Blood Rain, Curse of the Yama, like a lot of my early anime. He put me on Naruto too. Like we were at
Mm.
college and he was like, "Yo, you got to watch this. This is crazy." And I'm like, "What's it about?" He's like, "It's about ninjas." I'm like, "This guy's wearing an orange jumpsuit. How can how can he be a
Yeah,
ninja?"
not very ninja like.
There's there's I'm gonna go on the record. This is a hot take. There's not very much ninjutsu in Naruto. I'm sorry. It's like samurai. The way they fight are like samurai. They like go
Yeah.
right in the open and they like do showdowns and duels, or sometimes they battle with teams. There's no ninjutsu. There's never hiding. They almost never fight at night. There's no stealth.
Yeah, yeah. This is all adding up. You're very right about this. It is
That's
a lot of
that's
just like
one thing that
pull up for the fake.
drives me crazy. It's just like it's
Well, it
just
goes
not a
against
ninja
like
story.
anime, you know? Like
Yeah,
anime can't be like quick. Like when you play like a Legend of Zelda game and like you're sneaking around like the village and like you're killing somebody from behind, like that just wouldn't make for necessarily good anime. Like in some cases, sure, but
yeah,
usually like it's the big epic battles, so it just
right.
kind of goes against that to be sneaky. It has to be a spectacle. But I've never thought
That's
about
what. That's
that.
why that's why there's not a lot of real ninja stories in Battle Shonen because you can't really do it.
Yeah,
Because there's stealth and what was that one that came out? I think it was last year. It was a real awkward one. Ninja, not Ninja Kamui, but oh gosh, I can't remember. I'm gonna remember it like as soon as this is over. But they were actually doing ninja stuff, but it was just weird and awkward. So I think that it didn't
mm.
like blow up as much as people thought. Um,
I think you would have
but
to like nerf the MC a little bit so that he has no choice but to be stealthy, because if he wouldn't, he'd die. Like that would kind of have
right,
to be like the main like approach if they like wanted a more stealth like anime. I would watch that though. I haven't seen really too many of those. I feel like most shonens that I've seen, it's always the big battles.
I feel like there was elements in the early parts of Naruto, like the Chunin
Yeah.
exam and the
Yeah.
test. But like after like Orochimaru invaded, it was just like, all right, we're gonna fight right out in the open. We're gonna
Yeah.
call out what we're doing. What sense does that make? Calling out the attack. So just
Yeah.
do what you're doing. Let me let me move out the way. Oh, he's
It's so
fire
silly when
fire's
you think
going.
about. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so silly when you think about some of the tropes of just like calling out attacks. It's like in real life, like you would have been killed already.
yeah, seriously. Or like charging up anything. Like how many times should Goku have been like taken out doing those spirit bombs? I know sometimes
Oh,
he's
so
getting
many
like
times.
protected, but like bro, it takes like an hour for him to get those
Yeah,
things
yeah.
going.
No,
It's like
he's loading that spirit bomb up on dial up. Like it would take so long. It was the like I feel like it would like span over like 3 episodes when I was a kid, and I loved it as a kid. Like I when
oh,
I was a kid, I used to like throw my hands up in the air and like think that I was like helping him and whatnot.
oh,
But
that's so dope. No, I
yeah,
hated I
I was
hated it.
corny as a kid. Oh, you?
No, that's fire, bro. It's okay. I did the ninja run, obviously. We all did, I think. But I also
Yeah.
wore my hair like Vegeta. Uh, but for me, it made me look like a troll or Don King. But I didn't care.
Yeah.
I thought it was dope, bro. I loved his hairstyle.
That's so funny.
I was the
You have
biggest
to rock
Vegeta
the
fan.
widow's peak with it if
That's
you're
the thing I
gonna
didn't
do the
have though.
Vegeta.
But I had to the fro going up, man. It was a vibe. And my homie, when he saw me the first day, he was like, Vegeta, dope. I
That's
was
so
like,
cool. I know you got pictures somewhere, man. You got to post those on the IG.
nah, those would have been on like those like throwaways back in the day.
Oh, like
But
a Polaroid.
yeah, it would have probably be on those. But so you mentioned that we met at MegaCon this year. Uh
Yes.
you just got back from MomoCon, right?
Yes.
How was that?
MomoCon was good, honestly. It was if I'm being honest, I was a little bit let down
Oh,
because and it's not MomoCon's fault. They were extremely hospitable. I got like accepted as a creator for a creator
nice.
badge, so like that was awesome. I guess what I really like to see at these cons is like brand presence. So like I
Makes sense.
expected MomoCon to be on that same level of like Anime NYC. Like I thought it was the premier Atlanta convention. From what I'm hearing now, Dragon Con is actually a little bit bigger than that. Um,
When is Dragon
but
Con?
I'd have no idea. It's sometime. It might have already passed for this year or it's coming up.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But I didn't see like a Crunchyroll booth. I didn't see like Aniplex booth or Tamashi
Ah,
Nations. Um, I didn't see anything like that. So like that was the only disappointment because I
sure.
just like to see some of that. Like if anybody was at Anime Expo, and I know it's not fair to compare anything to Anime Expo, but like they had like they had like this one section in Anime Expo that like basically made it look like the real Infinity Castle and like you could like go through it like Demon
Oh
Slayer
wow.
style. There's just a lot of cool stuff at like Anime Expo that I was hoping to see at MomoCon, but that was the
Hmm.
only like slight disappointment is like there wasn't much of that. But the community was
Yeah.
awesome. I met a lot of really cool creators out there. Shout out to Preston and Joe. They
Sure.
run the Life with Anime podcast. So that was really cool. Like I've been following them for like a long time. Um,
Nice.
Quay Leron, I forget his full name, but that's another creator that I saw. I was with Professor Dofi. His name is Alex. I don't know if you guys, if you know him at all, but he was at
Mm,
MegaCon as well.
nice.
He does like the boards. He does boards and things like that.
Okay.
I also saw Anime News Guy. So shout out to Anime News Guy. I'm
Yeah,
sure if anybody's in this chat, they definitely know him. He's like the goat when it comes to anime news.
bro, he's
It
so
was really nice
cool.
seeing him. He's the nicest guy. He really
Bro,
is
he's the
like
nicest guy.
dude, when everything was going on with, and maybe this is, I don't want to like spoil his content, but like I'm gonna do it anyways. He what so when everything when everything was going on with the mangaka for the Gachiakata, for the mangaka for Gachiakata, he was like, I want to essentially give her some words of encouragement, and he was like, I want to interview Gachiakata cosplayers and have them each say something nice to her.
Oh, that's so
And I'm
nice.
just like, dude, like I'm over here getting hot takes and like you're actually trying to put like good into the world. So like I just really appreciate his energy. He's such a nice guy. He'll
Seriously.
always like, share his experience like as a content creator and he's younger than me. I'm 31. I'm pretty sure Brandon is like 24, 25.
He's
And I have
definitely in
no
his
shame.
20s.
Yeah, I have no shame in being like, bro, like you've been doing this longer than me. Like I've only been doing this for a few years. So like even as somebody who's younger than me, there's stuff that I have to learn from you. And he's such
Oh
an
yeah.
open book. Really, really good guy. Really good guy. So yeah, other than that, it was fun. I hit up a trap sushi party. That was
Ooh.
cool. Yeah, I like to do the after parties. I didn't get super lit this time. Um, but
Man, I didn't do any after parties at MegaCon, man. Not one. I was so disappointed.
they're a lot of fun, man. Like
Yeah,
I
good one.
really enjoy some. If you end up coming to Anime Expo, I definitely recommend like coming to Dream Bash if you're down. It's essentially kind of like this like it's not associated with Dream Con, it's Dream Bash, but it's kind of like a little mini Dream Con because it's definitely like the blurred like after party where it's just like that's where everybody goes and like
Yeah.
you'll just be like swag surfing with like somebody in a Luffy cosplay and like it's a great time. It's a really good time. But I lost my voice last year at that, so I got to
Oh,
be careful with those. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was screaming
Yeah.
too much.
Going hard. The cons are cool.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
Momo, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. You
No,
got
I
it.
was just closing it up. MomoCon was good though. It was just that was the only slight disappointment, but the community that I met, everybody that I interviewed was I was very grateful for. But what were you gonna say?
I was just saying I haven't been to a lot of cons. I mean, I went to one in Atlanta, Anime Weekend, Atlanta in October, and then I just been to MegaCon. That's it.
Mm.
So,
How like in your experience with the ones that you have been so far, like what has been like your thoughts when it comes to the con scene?
um, it was slightly surprising that I didn't run into more people that I recognize or that like
Mm.
recognize me. You know what I mean? Especially in Orlando. Um, I thought that there would be more like people on that I that I've seen online. Um, But I feel like a lot of the stuff that I see online, those cons are like in Vegas or in
Hmm.
LA or in New York. You know what I mean? Like, so like I didn't see a lot of like cosplay artists that I see. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. This the one in Atlanta wasn't dry. The MegaCon is dry, so that kind of changes the energy, if you will.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Was there like a Crunchyroll booth at MegaCon
I don't,
or
I don't think so. I don't
I don't
think
think so
so. And
either.
like, to your point about running into more people like I think one, because a lot of people like they're looking for sponsorships and brand things, like at the cons where you see more of that, you'll likely also see more creators because there's like
Yeah,
business being done behind the scenes. So
yeah,
Anime NYC, you're definitely like, if you go to Anime NYC, you'll definitely run into a bunch of people. It's almost like hard to not.
yeah.
And I'm sure like people who recognize you also just as a content creator.
Right.
MegaCon is. I also felt like MegaCon skewed a little bit towards like a slightly younger audience, where like
Yeah.
the anime expos, those do as well, but like you'll see just a lot more like of the bigger cosplayers and things like that. Yeah, I definitely run into a lot more. Are you planning on going to either Anime Expo or Anime NYC or anything, like any other cons for the rest of the year?
Anime NYC for sure. I'm just now hearing about Anime Expo, and we also have a question, so I'm going to put that up too.
Oh,
But yeah, I
cool.
would love to go to Anime Expo. So, what is the difference between the fan base of an anime versus this manga series like Dragon Ball? Who has more? Why is it more preferred over the other? So, I'll let you start.
Mm. So I'm gonna bring it back to One Piece, right? Because that
Absolutely.
is one where I watched the anime, right?
Uh-huh.
And basically when I ran out of anime, I was like, I need more. So then that's when I started reading the manga. So I started reading the manga right when we were about at Egghead. I think like right when Vegapunk did his whole speech was
Oh.
kind of like once when I was getting into the manga. So I'm like, okay, cool. And the two differences in it, I feel like the anime only audience is the loud majority, and like they usually
Mm,
have a lot more to say and a lot more problems or qualms with One Piece. So like, one thing I was talking
that
about
makes
recently in
sense.
a video of mine is like, you hear so many One Piece fans talk about the pacing being an issue, and I'm like, I get it. If you're like trying to catch up, it can be rough, but like on a week to week basis, personally I don't care, because like the manga's like perfect to me and I have everything that I need from the manga. So like that's the biggest difference that I see, where like the manga readers are kind of more willing to accept the ride. They're a lot more satisfied with what they get, where like the anime fans kind of nitpick a lot more, in my opinion, and have like a lot more
Mm,
problems. They're maybe usually the more shippers,
yeah,
because uh yeah, and also just like on a level of like casual from like mega fan, I think is like the biggest difference. Like, I think there are some huge One Piece fans who only do anime, but like if you're reading the manga, for me, it's like, okay, like you're crazy about this the way I am, and like
yeah,
you want to know every inch of Oda's world that you can. So there's just a different level of curiosity. Not necessarily it makes you a bigger fan, but like
yeah,
you're just ready to take in all forms of the media. And also like I feel like I have a closer relationship, not me specifically, but when you read like a manga like One Piece, I feel like I have a closer relationship with what Oda's vision was. um and the anime, Toei does their own things. Like, obviously they make Sanji look even worse in the anime, or like
yes,
you'll be like, oh yeah, like that Rob Lucci Zoro fight was only like 2 panels in the manga, but in the anime they like made it so epic.
right.
So that's been my biggest thing, is just like I feel like the anime fans nitpick a lot more, where the manga fans are just way more down for the ride. For One Piece specifically.
I think you could apply a lot of what you just said to most uh, communities when we're looking at like anime versus manga. For me, I think anime only people are the ones that complain. But the only problem that I have with that is that I feel like manga readers are constantly complaining about pacing. and how I see this all the time in comments. You should just read the manga. And to me, that's crazy because like it or love it, or with faults included, the anime is so amazing. Like take Wano for example. Like
Hmm.
the music, or a very specific moment when Luffy finished his fight with Kaido, and they're doing the prayers going up to Luffy to defeat Kaido, and they have music playing, and you could see the different faces of the people of Wano sending up their prayers that Luffy could defeat Kaido so that they could be free, and the music they put behind it. Or another example, uh, the Bartholomew Kuma backstory was brilliant in the manga, but it doesn't even compare to the anime for me. Just
Yeah.
that running panel at the end was done so beautifully. So I think that I hate to like tier it, and say like if you watch and read, you're the top. If you just watch, you're the middle. I think there's something to get from both. I would say that the
Yeah.
anime is probably the biggest slice of the pie, followed by the manga, followed by the manga and anime readers. And I do think that online and in the comment sections, you're mostly hearing from the anime onlys. But it's hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely like I guess it depends on the anime specifically, but for One Piece specifically, like I do feel like I want to watch the anime because of those like extra liberties that they take to
Hmm.
kind of make it its own. Like even in the last episode, spoiler warnings for anybody who hasn't watched the last episode of One Piece. I remember
Yep.
telling my girlfriend, I'm just like, hey, just so you know, I think this one's gonna be a tearjerker. I think this is where
Yeah.
Robin and Saul reunite, and like I'm waiting for it, but then they decide to like start the episode with like just like a rehashing of like Robin's backstory, and like it's like told in this like black and white like super just like aesthetic like approach to it, which they've just been killing it with those. And like in the
Yeah.
first like 5 seconds I'm just like bawling my eyes out, and I'm just like, this wasn't in the manga, you know
Yeah.
like.
No. I
And then the way
I
they
made a
close the
video.
episode with like, "I want you to praise me for living." I'm pretty sure that wasn't a
Yes.
manga quote. Like
I don't think that
it
was either.
yeah.
We have to look it up. I don't think that was in there. I made a
I don't
video
think so.
immediately. I said like I was not ready. I thought I was ready for that. I was not ready. Like when he told her, I don't think this was in there either. It might be. No, it might be. But when he said like when times get bad, just remember to do the laugh that I taught you. And you see Robin running and doing the there she. I was like, no. Oh
I
my
know.
gosh. I
It
was
just
like,
hit in so many. It's so good, it's so good.
One Piece is like Oda is just like next level. You can't compare, and I mean it's hard to say like what's more emotional, but the impact that like the emotional moments in One Piece have compared to any other anime. I'm trying to think of an anime that like has made me feel maybe like Grave of the Fireflies. Something I watched recently, a new gen anime, had me kind of like tearing up pretty bad. I can't remember what it was though. It was from the last.
It's really it's tough for me. Like things like in the vein of One Piece are like hard because it's such a like just out there and eccentric world, but then he'll like ground you in like the most beautiful stories, like Kuma being a priest who like takes the pain of all the elderly like
Yeah,
people in his town like every Sunday just because like that's just such a like crazy out there concept, but then they like kind of ground it in like essentially he's just like he wants to be the anchor for like the elderly people, and then you just start to think about like the daily pains that elderly people feel, and like how he's like I don't know taking all of that in. So it's sometimes hard for other animes that are like in that same shonen for me to capture those same emotions. Like when somebody dies in JJK, I'm just like, all right, another one bites the dust. It's
yeah,
fine.
exactly,
It's there's
exactly,
no
exactly.
emotion in it at all.
At all,
um
at all.
One
Like you know what I
story
mean?
that really hit me is Look Back recently. It was like maybe like 2 years ago at this point, but it's a short movie. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm. I haven't even
It's
heard
by
of it.
Fujimoto. It's by Fujimoto. It actually won Anime Movie of the Year at the
Oh, okay.
Crunchyroll Awards last year, I believe. But it's a one shot manga slash movie. It's only like, I think it's under an hour, the movie, but it's by Fujimoto, the guy who made Chainsaw Man, and it's essentially about these two girls in grade school who decide to write manga together, and it is
Mm.
the best. It's like the most like wholesome, gut wrenching, but it's very grounded in the way that you can like relate to it if you've ever been a creative, if you've ever been in school and like wanted to make friends. Like those are the stories that I find hit me more often than not because they're so grounded in reality. Of course, like Your Lie in
Okay.
April is another one.
I was just about to say I just watched that in April because my editor thought it would be like, cool to talk about it. That thing was
Yeah.
that thing was tough, bro. Like, I mean, and I knew
Yeah.
we all knew what was gonna happen, but I was like, oh, dude, that
Yeah,
last,
it's rough. I tried to show my brothers, and in like the first 10 minutes, they don't watch like any romance animes. They're like, oh, I don't want to watch this. This looks like it's gonna be like soft. And I'm like, dude, like get to episode two, it gets real. Like you get like
yeah.
homeboy getting beat up by his mom and stuff. Like it's so
Oh,
dark.
but then
Like it's
finding out, who, his what his mom was doing, and then seeing that later projected on Takari, like
yeah.
it was heavy. Did you watch Takabi's
Yeah.
Original Sin?
No, I haven't seen those. I Takobi's Original Sin or Takopi's Original Sin, and there's another one that was animated for nominated for movie of the year. Haruki, The Summer Hikaru Died.
Oh, the
Those are
summer that
two that I
Hikaru
really
died.
want to watch.
Oh, so we got a question here. I don't think you watched World Trigger?
I have not.
What do you guys think about? I'm just going to answer this real quick. I think World
Yeah, yeah,
Trigger
go
is
ahead.
slept on. It is currently my number 4 in my top 10 anime. I love World Trigger. I don't
Wow.
talk about it that much because anytime I make a video, it just dies, and I'll get a
Yeah.
bunch of World Trigger fans who are like, "Oh, thanks for talking about World Trigger," and it's like it's 100 of us. So World Trigger is great. Definitely recommend watching it. It's very tactical, so if you like strategy and tactics, then you'll enjoy it. And it has a really cool character. Oh my gosh, Jin. Jin is his name.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, Takapi's Original Sin and not World Trigger and the Summer That Hikaru Died are great. Summer That Hikaru Died is weird though, and
Mm.
there's some
Weird in
BL
like a
stuff
Japanese
going on.
way.
No, weird in like. Let me give a. I'll try to give a non spoiler example. Do you know the premise of the show?
No.
So basically, and this is from the trailer, so I feel like that's not a spoiler. But let's just say spoilers, possible spoilers. This guy's best friend goes into the forest, and it seems like something has possessed him or taken over his body, and so he's trying to figure out what's this thing that's taken over his friend's body, why did it happen, and so on and so forth. But then their relationship before and after is kind of the weirdness. And then there's one
Hmm.
scene where the guy basically reaches his arm into the guy's sternum and like it's just like feeling around, and the friend is kind of like making weird noises. So it's that kind of weird. Whatever that kind of weird is to you, that's the kind of weird it is. Like I was
That's
watching it with
I would
my
put that
my
under like Japanese weird. And don't get me wrong, I love all the weirdness of Japanese culture, but some stuff I'm just like, huh, would that fly
yeah,
in the West? Maybe not.
no. That's a big thing that I talk about, but I always try to tread lightly because I get smashed, but I'm like, don't bring your Western values over to Japan. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
have different cultures, we have different morals, we have different things that are acceptable, are funny. They think that old perverted men with nosebleeds is funny. They think that that's funny. If you don't like that, you don't have to watch it. You don't need to
Mhm.
watch it. There's so much anime out there, but like, stop trying to comfort people. You know what I mean? Like like no, I feel like nobody had a problem with Master Roshi or Jiraiya. They just kind of accepted it for what it was. No one's trying to be like him. I think it's important how something's portrayed. Like it's
Yeah.
never portrayed as like a good thing to be that way. You know what I mean? And there's often normally violent consequences for them being that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they're glorifying it, but people are like, "Oh, why do they have to do it? Why do they have to do it?" I don't know. They think it's funny. That's why. It's
Yeah, I
something
mean,
in
it's
their
always
culture.
almost met with like an uppercut by a girl or something.
Exactly.
Like it's never a good thing. And yeah, they think it's funny, and like I might not think it's funny. Sometimes I do. But it's never my place to put my own beliefs onto the creative like approach that they take to things. And like even just being in Japan, I've been there a few times, and like it's just there's certain things that are different, man. They got vending machines with like used panties. Like I don't know what to tell you, man. They're on a different type of
Exactly.
time.
They move different over there. You can't be
Yeah.
looking at that culture and being like, "Why do you got an old man with nosebleeds?" Fam, they got used like panty vending machines, and they got like spots where you can go and eat off of people, bro. It's like their culture is just it's a culture of extremes,
Yeah,
and
and
so
and some of it gets brought to the West, like at least in the anime crowd specifically. So there was actually another con going on in San Jose, up in North in the Bay Area of California. I almost went to that one as opposed to MomoCon. And I'll just say this really quick, but like one thing that definitely was crazy, they had a jungle juice soaked feet. Like, so picture like, you go to a party, it's a big jungle juice
what
thing, and this one
what
girl, she was cosplaying and she had her feet in the thing just soaking, and like you could just like, like press the little button and like get your little drink. And they were charging like
she
$10 for this, a
she's
drink.
like a go-go dancer, like with her feet in the punch.
She was just a cosplayer.
She's
She was
just a
just sitting
reg-
there, like sitting there for the night, like just with her feet in the tub of jungle juice.
and people were just pulling up and
Yeah,
getting like,
yep. People
"Damn,
were,
what?"
and I'm a feet guy, but I'm good. I'm good.
I've never been a foot guy. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Their feet to me, like
Hey,
even
we don't
legs.
we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to talk about what I like about feet. Hey,
Yeah,
but
it's
that's what I'm saying. Like, just Japan, it can get crazy, and also stuff like that is funny because they're poking fun at themselves, because there is
right.
like the thing that people talk about a lot in Japan is like men don't know how to approach women a lot of times in Japan, because it's a very
It's hard.
suppressive culture.
Yeah,
So they might not gain those skills early on the way like we might in the States. Like we're kind of used to courting women and things like that.
especially I
um
mean, you come
so
from New
like the
York,
old
man.
man perv is probably a very common stereotype, because it was probably like the old man who never got to like live out his youth or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
so it's funny, like they probably just are poking fun at themselves, and they're not necessarily glorifying it, but it's something that exists in their culture.
you went to Japan this year, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was there in April, I believe. Maybe
Uh,
February, end of February, early April.
wait, you went twice?
No, no, no. Well, I've been through 3 times in total.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
cool. I love Japan. I hate the flight, but I love Japan. It's just like
yeah,
it's so good. The food is so good. The culture is so good. I don't like that like the Ubers are crazy expensive and the trains cut off at a certain time. I bet that was
yeah,
probably tricky for you coming from New York, you know what I mean? Like where the trains run all night. But everything else is great. It's expensive though. It's like
yeah.
crazy
It's like
expensive.
it's cheap but expensive at the same time. Like some things will be cheap, but then you'll notice like it'll rack up. Like the Ubers weren't that bad of an issue for me, because the first 2 times that I went, I was with big groups. So oftentimes we would split the Uber 4 ways. So it'd be like, okay, it's a $20 Uber, it's $5 each. It's not that bad at all. We got a question.
We got another question. Are there rules for a manga that is converted to anime being dubbed in Japanimation? For instance, do the creators have to be Japanese? Is the style character? For instance, if Afro Samurai was made in the same style by Ryan Coogler, did it happen? Okay. I'm trying to figure out what he's asking or what they're
I think
asking,
he's
excuse me.
trying to say like, if it to be truly considered anime, does it have to be made by Japanese people? Also, the same way manga
Does he mean
is.
like the adaptation?
Yeah, the adaptation, I think.
No, I don't think so. I think well, no, actually I do think so. I'm gonna have to reverse that. I think that right, like if it's produced in Japan, then it's animation, Japanimation. Regardless.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
guess
don't
so.
know.
Yeah,
Did Lazarus have U.S. contributors? I feel like Lazarus had U.S. producers or contributors, and that was definitely
I can look
still.
it up really
Yeah,
quick.
let's check that out.
Lazarus, Lazarus
But I
production
think that if it's
studio.
from Japan, that's anime. If it's from America, it's animation. You know, it doesn't have to be cartoons. And then it's Dunhua from China and Manhwa from Korea.
So Google AI overview is telling me that Lazarus is produced by Sola Entertainment and animated by Studio Mappa. So it sounds
Okay.
like anime to me.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I would ultimately agree. It does like then ultimately it wouldn't be anime. You know, that's the same reason why Avatar isn't considered it. One, obviously because
Right.
there's no manga, but also because it was animated in the West, even though obviously there's so much anime influence in it. Um,
Absolutely.
but also to that point, like it's funny because like we like really like uh try to figure out like what's anime and what's not. But my friend Parker, when we were in Japan and he was doing interviews, he would ask some Japanese people because he speaks a little bit of Japanese. He's like, "What's your favorite anime character?" And a few times they said SpongeBob because to them it's just like anime just means cartoon.
Ah, that's
So it's
interesting.
like only us on the West like we care so much about like what's anime and what's not. But like to them,
Yeah.
it's all if it's animated, it's anime
That might
from
be
their
different.
perspective.
It was different when I was growing up. Like, even so much so that like they're like, oh, if you just like Dragon Ball Z, you're not even really an anime fan. Like you gotta watch like Detective Conan and Drymon and Umpum
Hmm.
Man and all those old classics, you know what I mean? Like so but yeah, I think, people make too much. But that's it kind of goes back to what we were talking about. I don't know if we were talking about it on here or before, but everyone just looks for a way to trauma dump what they're feeling. So that anything that can be divisive or they can be like, oh, it's this, not that, they're gonna be like that. You know what I mean? Like sub versus
Yeah, and
dubs.
it's just discourse online, which is why I love being part of this community. I feel like I'm relatively newer to anime. Like I grew up watching anime casually, and then I got Brian casually watches anime. Um,
Hey,
what's it called? But then I got progressively more into it, like kind of in my college years. But I started with just watching Dragon Ball for a long time. Like Dragon Ball was my only one for a very long time, and I would just rewatch Dragon Ball. So like I don't know if I could have considered myself an anime fan back in the day, even though Dragon Ball and like Pokemon were probably like the biggest things in my life. Like so it's just like hard to know like what's real and what's not. But I feel like more of a fan of the medium of anime now that I'm kind of consuming more. And that really started with like My Hero and Attack on Titan in like 2016 for me.
yeah.
And since that journey, like damn near at this point 10 years ago, which is crazy.
Whew.
Um, I've like it's because 2016 sounds like yesterday, but I'm just like, damn, I guess I've been more conscientiously watching anime in the past like 10 years. But yeah, I don't really know like what's real and what's not. But we do have a question that I was I don't know if you want to answer that. I had an answer also.
Yeah,
We could maybe both do an
we
answer.
can do, yeah, we'll both drop one, and I'm probably gonna do two. I'm gonna do like an easy one and then like a fun one. So for me, I think if you haven't watched any anime, something like Erased is going to be good for you. It's
Mm,
accessible. It's only 12 episodes, and it's a story that's kind of somewhat grounded. Like you know what I mean? It's there are powers, but it's essentially just a murder mystery. And then
hmm.
My Hero, I think, is a great one to just kind of get you in. More than likely, you've been exposed to Marvel, and so you're familiar with the world of superheroes. This one's a fun one. A lot of the things you're going to find in anime are present there, and it has a great main character, Deku. just a great ensemble, and it's handled really well. So those are my two recommendations.
Yeah, I think those are great. A friend of mine, I don't know if anybody in the chat knows Dr. Applesauce. He also does interviews, but he
Yeah.
always kind of mentions how My Hero Academia kind of came at the height of the MCU, and like that's kind of helped make it more palatable because we were already like any superhero related content, like we were all in, and that was definitely an appeal for me because I grew up on like X-Men '97, and
Oh
like I'm
yeah.
like, oh, this is kind of like X-Men, like this is really cool, and like
Yeah.
it appeals more to me because it has like the emotional stuff that like a show like X-Men might not have. So My Hero is a great pick. Like I said, it was the one that really got me to want to be more invested into anime as a whole, cuz Attack on Titan was good, but Attack on Titan is very unique compared to a lot of other animes, probably because it's a
Right.
sign in and I didn't even know that at the time. But I think I think two things that I love about being in the anime community is kind of being there for the present and now in the current conversations. So I think Witch Hat Atelier is a great anime to get
Yeah.
into right now. There's
Oh yeah.
only
Good
8
call.
episodes right now, so you could binge that in like 2 days. It's magic based, but it's so if you like Harry Potter,
Yeah.
well, if you're asking this question, you probably haven't seen Frieren. But if you like Harry Potter or anything like that, like it's really cool. Like there's characters of all ages. The main character is Coco, so I'm pretty sure she's like maybe 10 years old or something. um but then they have like a lot of adult characters to kind of like help balance it out where it doesn't feel like just a kid show. The
Yeah.
animation is crazy. It's like Studio
Phenomenal.
Ghibli, like, or your name, like level animation. The music is great. The voice acting is also really good. So they dropped the English and the Japanese on the same day. So like whatever is your poison, like you can kind of you don't have to wait. But yeah, once you catch up and like you can see the weekly conversation, I feel like that's like really getting to feel like what it's like to be in the anime community, being part of the current conversation. So that's one like where it's like a stock, right? It's like it's definitely going bullish and it's only going to go up. And right now is a
Yeah.
great time to get into the stock before it's like 5 seasons in.
Yeah.
So that's one. And if you want to get into manga, I would recommend Goodbye Eri. It's a one shot, so you don't
Ooh.
have to like read it. Read a bunch of like hundreds of chapters. It's by Fujimoto, the same guy who does Chainsaw Man. Your name or not your name. Look Back. But he did this one shot called Goodbye Eri. It's about this guy who basically his mom is dying and his mom asks him to document like his life, her life through pictures. So like he takes a bunch of pictures of his mom before she
Oh.
dies, and
Wow.
it ends up being really emotional. So if you want to get into manga,
Heavy.
that's a good one to get into, in my opinion.
Okay. Great choices. Great choices. So since you brought it up, I mean, we're well into it. I don't know how you're doing on time because we're like well into this thing and we haven't talked about One Piece or Witch Hat. So
No, we haven't, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm in
okay.
no rush.
Okay.
We
Cool.
could
Okay.
go quick on Witch Hat, and especially because maybe not everybody's caught up. Um, and then One Piece is good for the ending because if you're not caught up, it's time for you to get out because we're talking spoilers in the One Piece
Ooh,
chapter.
a lot of there's gonna be a lot of spoilers on the One Piece stuff. So on the Witch Hat, what are your thoughts on Witch Hat? Just like let me know what you're thinking on that.
I love it. Like my initial thoughts. So like one thing that was like the conversation a lot at MomoCon was like, is this the anime of the year so far, like of 2026? And I'm like, I think we need to relax. Oh no. Okay, you came
Oh, that's
back.
my fault. That's my
Um,
fault.
no, you're good. So like I think we need to relax just a little bit. Like I think we need to let it cook, but it is like really good. It is like it
Yeah.
really like it scratches a lot of the like parts of my brain that like Frieren does, like in terms of like magic. Like I'm a big Legend of Zelda fan, so like elves, magic, like things like that, like being in the woods, like that stuff really does appeal to me.
Mhm.
What I like about not Apothecary Diaries, which had Atelier, is that it kind of has like that same whimsicalness of Frieren and same beautiful like shots. Uh, it's really beautiful. Like watching some of
It's
the
amazing.
like in the first episode, like there's a scene of Coco just like doing a little like circle on the roof. And
Yeah.
immediately I'm just like, wow, this is like so detailed. Like this looks like a painting that I would see like at the Met in New York City.
Shout out to the
It's so
Met.
beautiful, but it has a lot of emotion. I love the side characters, and I love that
Mhm.
like Keyfree is like I love that when he was first introduced, it was like, oh my god, we got a new Gojo character, like who like looks just like Gojo and is just as hot, if not hotter. And then like now the conversation is like, wait, but like what's going on under the hood? Like who is this guy? Can we
Yeah,
trust this guy? I
right.
love like that subversion of like giving us a character that we all like fell in love with immediately, and now it's like, wait, but he has like some skeletons in his closet. Um, I also really love like the without spoiling anything. It seems like politics is going to play a big role into this, and the politics behind magic,
Right.
like use it, who cannot, what information are we able to let out, and to what lengths will go to suppress that information. That's one of my favorite things about One Piece is like the political aspects of it, and like
Yeah.
essentially how politics kind of trickle down to the masses, which it feels like Witch Hat will do that maybe in a slightly more contained way. But I love everything about it. I can't wait for this Sunday's episode. Those are my kind of initial thoughts on it. I don't know if it's anime of the year, because I do think we have to give respect to what JJK did.
Oh,
I
that's
feel like,
interesting.
dude, JJ, like, I'm not even the biggest JJK guy, but this season was crazy. Like
I
that Maki episode. Oh my god.
so I think that the JJK season was mid. I think that they had I think that they had two phenomenal episodes that are arguably
Yeah.
some of the best episodes we've ever seen. The Yuta's three-way fight, amazing, like phenomenal. Maki's fight against the Zanin clan, amazing, phenomenal. You can give it 10, both of those a 10 out of 10. But then
Yeah.
outside of that, what else happened? And you had one of the worst episodes ever with episode 3 where they were explaining the Culling games. They took an entire
That was
episode
rough.
to explain something, and people still didn't fully understand what was going on. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like you can't really point. I mean, maybe you can, but like I can't point to another episode that I would give above a 9. Two, so you
Mm.
got two 10 out of 10s, and then everything else is between like an 8.3 to an 8.8, in my opinion.
I think I agree with that. Like in the way that most of the other episodes were sitting at a comfortable 8 for me. I
Yeah,
really enjoyed the one with you, and I'm really bad with names, so like forgive me. Um,
you're fine.
but I really enjoyed the episode where Yuji was fighting the guy
Oh,
with the gavel.
Hagurama, I think is his name.
I believe
Higurama,
that, I think something like that. But
I think it's
I
Higurama.
like that because it was a more cerebral fight. It was like, okay, like how do I essentially like get out of this case? And like I thought that that was cool. I liked the fight with Megumi and
The
I
guy with the
believe it was a
papers.
woman. Yeah, yeah. I thought that was cool. But yeah, like I'm definitely flying high off of like the Yuta fight at the end, which was crazy, and then the Maki fight.
Crazy,
Um
right?
there's also the fights, the Fight Club stuff that I thought was cool with Yuji versus Panda, and like kind of how they
Oh, I hated that
orchestrated
episode.
that fight.
I hated that episode. I was like, ah,
You know what? I think the animation goes really far for me with JJK. Like
that
that's always been like the thing that I loved about it.
it's carrying.
I just
It's
love how
car-
beautiful it looks.
it's carrying that story. That story was two great episodes. I'll give you the Megumi fight, both of his fights. The
Yeah.
one with the trans character, and then the one with the guy with the paper. But then if you compare it to something like um, Fate, which from start to finish, in my opinion, put out nothing but nines and up, and then Sentenced to be a Hero, which had the phenomenal first episode, phenomenal final episode, and then a couple of really nice episodes in the middle. Um, I even think Hell's Paradise. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
think Hell's Paradise season 2 went really crazy. So I know everyone was expecting JJK, and look, Frieren was my call for the first anime of the year. It's obviously not. There wasn't enough in season 2 for it to be in the conversation. It shouldn't even be
It was a little
nominated.
slow this season.
It's okay. You know, as a jazz musician and a music producer and just a creative person, that's the cost of art. Like it can't. If anything is just bangers, you're not really trying. You know what I mean? You're following a template or a formula. And that's what happened
Yeah.
with Marvel. That's why it kind of died out. You gotta try. You gotta put out something that's a little bit weird or doesn't hit. And so this one was just a slow season. So it's cooking. They chose rather than to try to force it, they chose to just let it cook. And I think they're banking on season three to be a crazy season.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely then Frieren has definitely gotten my trust in the same way that like One Piece has, where I'm just like, if it's
Yeah.
not what I wanted off of this episode, one thing that I do hope they do less of is like the fight with Star. I think this was technically season one, or maybe it was still season two. But there's an episode where like Stark was fighting the dragon, and like they did like the whole off-screen thing. Like, I want less off-screen fights in
Oh
2026. Like, we
yeah.
got the budget, man. We got the budget. Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Like, unless it's
Yeah, no.
Blackbeard. Whenever Blackbeard off-screen somebody, for some reason, I love it. Just because
No,
it's like a meme at this point.
it's it, that's a whole nother thing that we can get into, just how strong is everybody now. It's just getting a little bit difficult to like keep track of how strong people are because we still don't know, like we don't know how strong Mihawk is. We don't know how strong Shanks really is. You know, people think they know
Hmm.
how strong he is, but like I mean, he just one shot kid who was
Yeah,
able to fight on par with Big Mom. I mean, he ultimately won, but he was fighting with Law.
with Law.
He obliterated him with one shot. No diff. Like the definition of no diffing someone. That's what Shanks did. And so
Hmm.
we have no idea. So we can't even use that to like really measure his strength.
And
And
he
then
did it
Luffy,
before Kid could even like he basically went into the future, saw what was gonna happen, and was like, "Nah, we're gonna nip this right in the butt right here. We're not even gonna give
shut
Kid
this
a
down.
chance. We're just
Gonna
gonna
shut it down.
sink him." There's a lot of theories about where basically what Kid is doing right now.
Yeah. The
I
kid
don't know
and
if you
Law.
want to hear any of the ones that I've seen online.
Oh, of course. Of course. I would love to hear him.
So been for people who are not caught up to the manga. So spoilers if you're not, but there's that famous scene of Rocks telling Emu, I believe, like I'm a worshiper of Davy D. Jones, and like that's caused up a whole bunch of debates and conversations in the community. And one of the theories that I've heard is that Davy D. Jones was essentially a pirate in the Void Century that could be like what the D stands for, but we don't know. Um,
Was it
but
Gonzo
essentially,
Gozan?
he got for the D clan. Basically, he's at the bottom of the ocean. He got sentenced to live at the bottom of the ocean. So if you look at Pirates of the Caribbean, which I think Oda has said to be a fan of, Davy D. Jones or Davy Jones at the in that movie was basically sentenced to live at the bottom of the ocean, and like that's Davy Jones's locker, right? Like
Yeah,
that's like the thing that you would hear is like they'll send him to Davy Jones's locker, which is essentially a perpetual hell in the bottom of the sea. So people think that
brutal.
that's where Kid went. So Kid basically
Oh,
sunk to the bottom of the sea and now is like kind of in Davy Jones's locker. Is like that's a popular theory that I've seen online. Or he washed
when
up
he
and is
die?
gonna be on Elbap.
When
Not
when
died,
he die
sunk.
though, because of the his devil fruit?
Maybe there's some type of like thing like at the bottom where it's just like it like we have underwater civilizations, you know?
True. I mean,
So like
maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're not really going to their deaths. Maybe they're just getting pulled down. Because we seen one survive, but it was then they did like a retcon and made Jack like a merman. I thought
yeah,
that
yeah,
was so
yeah.
weird. I thought that was so weird and unnecessary. So we don't know. Maybe they can survive down there. Maybe that's what
Yeah,
happens.
maybe
Davy
maybe that's what
Jones is
happens
just
to all
bringing them.
devil fruit users who sink. Like maybe they all go to Davy Jones's locker and like
Right.
that's why they have to sink because they made a
Exactly.
covenant or not a covenant because that's like Emu's thing. But that's a theory, or people think he could have just washed up on Elbath.
I wonder what would be the point of having him in Elbath because he's already been in Wano. You know what I mean? Like so it's kind of
Yeah,
like redundant to have him there. Or to run back that
yeah,
whole like trio, which I love, by the way. I lo- I loved having Law with the Straw Hats, so much so I wish he would have just renounced his captainship and become a Straw Hat because he was so good with them, man. You know?
He was. I like that in theory. I think we already have one kind of like uh stoic type of character with Zoro. So
Yeah.
like I don't need two characters like that. I love Law. Like I'm not as big on the Law like hive as much as everybody else. But
Oh,
I like
huge.
that he has his own crew. I feel like you lose some aura points the second you like decide to basically put up for Luffy. I feel like
That's
he
fair.
loses a little bit of his aura as a character.
That's fair. That's fair. It's yeah. It's One Piece is going crazy right now. Like I mean I guess we should just we can I didn't really give you my take on Witch Hat, but I mean I pretty much agree with everything you said. I think Keyfree, so this is a little bit of spoilers. Do you want me to or do you mind spoilers? I don't want to spoil for you, but I can
So
give
I'll
you a
tell
little
you
bit of
what was the last thing I saw. Basically, there was that scene where Coco kind of like her magic spell went crazy, and then and I'm like I said, I'm really bad with names, but there was that other like witch hat kind of army people who like were going to erase her
oh
memory,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Especially
then that
I can't
stops
remember.
because one of her friends saves her, and then eventually Keyfree pulls up on the scene and diffuses everything. And then Coco's like, "Yeah, I have this magic vial that like refills itself." And then he kind of like pieced two and two together, like, "Wait a second, this
Yeah.
was made by like that one guy with like the big eye." So he
Brimcat.
takes it back. He takes it back to like observe it, and he essentially erases the old man's memories, and he had like the most menacing look on his face when he did. He's like, "I'm sorry, but I have to do this to you."
Yeah.
And this was literally moments after he was talking about the severity of like when you wipe somebody's memory, you essentially like kill them because
Yeah,
your
you take a
memories
piece of
are
them.
what makes you as a person. So he says
Right.
this and then does this like 5 minutes later. So I'm like, okay, like
A
it's
lot of people
giving
called that
like
out too.
yeah, it's giving like and I haven't seen Invincible. I've only seen a few episodes, but the way Omni Man like he like had to kill the Justice League essentially, whatever their names are in that first episode. And from
Yeah.
what I understand, he has a reason. He was sent to Earth to like do something, but like he has conflicting emotions is kind of like where it's suggesting. Like I said, I'm only 2 episodes in, but I'm guessing that Q Free his motives are probably good, but it might be like how you were saying, like Sasuke. It's like, okay, but like, at what point do the ends justify the means, and like,
Right.
how far are you willing to go? Which I love that in a character. Like, I love like that morality, like that battle of morality. But I really appreciate where they're headed so far because yeah, he's supposed to be like the one who's like taking care of Coco, but like I almost don't trust him, man. I don't trust him.
So so a big part of like and this is somewhat a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler, I don't think, because it's just talking about like the core like issue of Witch Hat Atelier is when there's rules that don't make sense, when is it appropriate to follow those rules or disagree with or disobey them? So, for
Hmm.
example, magic that's on the body, that's against the body, is forbidden. So that means you can't do any healing magic. And so it's not so much that these brimcap witches are bad. They just disagree. They feel like there should be no limits to what magic can do. And it makes no sense to just decide, oh, we're going to say you can't do this or do that. Now, some of their spells that they do kind of prove the point of the good guys because they're just crazy. But you're going to see a lot of like moral ambiguity between Coco,
Mm.
Keyfree, and some of these other characters, especially with Coco. And you got to think about Coco. The whole reason why she's into magic, besides her love for it, is to help her mother. But that's magic against the
Yeah.
body. You know what I mean? There's really no way to do it outside of casting a spell that's going to affect her mother's body. So it's a really interesting thing. With Keyfree, it's very much like Sasuke. He's I can't say that his goals are good. It's just like Sasuke. You know, he's got a past with the brim cap people, and he wants his vengeance.
Mm.
So
So he's on a
you know,
vengeful path.
it's a vengeance thing. Like, and that's why
Got it.
it's just kind of like it's he's a. That's why I said is he a fraud? It's a my video is a little bit playful because I know. So whenever like I'm interested in things now, I just like go online and I research, as much as I can about it. And there's tons of YouTube videos that I'll say the whole story. So I know pretty much what's going on with Keyfree. I'm trying not to say too much, but it's very similar to Sasuke's story, which to me doesn't
Mm.
make him a great role model for for Coco, who's very pure and very innocent. Um,
Yeah.
but but I don't know what's going on with Agat yet. I know that something with her mother that drives her to be the way she is, but I don't fully know her story. So there's still
You're
lots
saying
of
Coco.
no Agat. Agat
Oh,
uh
I got.
yeah, the reason why she's the way she is because of her family and her mother in particular.
Mm.
So think like have you watched Black Clover?
Yeah.
Think like Noelle. She's got like a Noelle situation going on
Mm. Kind of like her family just shitted on her the whole time. And then
because of
Noelle
her
ended up
abilities.
being like the strongest person from what's her family's name? I forget. Um
Silver something.
but yeah, but by the end of the anime at least, like yeah, she totally totally put everybody in their place, and like she ended up
Right.
saving I think like her brother or her uncle, I think, in like the last arc.
I think it was her brother, her
Yeah.
older brother, who's incredibly strong, apparently. Apparently, her mom was stronger than Mary Leona, which is crazy. Like, Mary Leona said she could never beat her. So,
Mm.
that's some crazy lore. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, Witch Hat Atelier is great. I'm one of those people that are like, yeah, just give it enemy of the year. We all know it's going to happen. Like, it's there's
Is it
nothing.
because you know where it's going or because of what you've seen already?
I'm purely basing it on what I've seen. Like now, this is the thing. If you're looking for solo level, see, I feel like people don't even grade the anime that they love with the same grading. Like people act like solo leveling this last season was like crazy action the entire time. It wasn't. It was not at all. Same for JJK. It was essentially two phenomenal episodes, two really good episodes, and then a bunch of mediocre episodes. So everything that I've seen from Witch Hat Atelier has been phenomenal. Like just like if
Yeah.
you can just start with the animation, you can start with like how beautiful it is to watch, how amazing they're doing with this adaptation, the voice acting, the color palette, the direction, and then there's amazing moments. You know what I mean? Keyfree's moment, um, the first episode, just like when he saves Coco, was crazy. Coco learning how to make her cape fly. There's been just
Yeah.
beautiful moments. But if you're looking for conflict, if that's your only way of grading an anime, then yeah, I could see people saying, "Oh no, not yet," because they're waiting for that big fight. But it's been great. It's been amazing. Like there hasn't been a bad episode for me. Um, I do feel
No,
like they're a
no, me
little bit
neither.
short. I feel like they're a little short. Like for me, I'm always like, oh, you know, but
Well, they
yeah,
stretch
just
it too, because one thing that I love that they do is you notice they don't have proper closing songs. They always kind of stretch out the scene just a little bit longer. So they'll play the music and they'll have the credits rolling, but then there's still like some episode left. So like that's how you know like they really tried to cram in everything that they could, because I mean they only have like what, the 23 minutes that like comes with an anime or whatever.
yeah, like I mean, it's like I think it's 22, and then you got the break in between, like that's about 20-30 seconds where they do like it would be a commercial break. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that there's anything that's going to be able to beat it. Sentence to Be a Hero was good. Fate definitely is going to have a shot. Fate's going to have a shot, but I don't think Fate's gonna get there. You know what I mean? It's just people hate on the story, so
Mm.
it sucks though.
I
Once, but
haven't
once,
seen Sentenced to Be Hero or Fate, Are they both Sentenced to Be Heroes new, right?
Sentence to Be Heroes brand new. There's a lot of Fate. Like I think I've
It's like
seen
the
all of
Fate
the.
Strange series
Yeah, Fate Stay
or Fate
Night,
Stay Night.
Fate, Unlimited Blade Works, Zero I think is one, and then now this
Do you
Fate
have to
Strange
watch
Fate.
all of them? Like, do they all connect like the MCU, or are they all kind of their own contained
So
stories?
actually, the MCU is a great way to think about it because they do connect, but you can watch the MCU movie without watching the other
Yeah,
ones. You know what I mean? It's not
yeah.
the Avengers is where it's a little bit tricky, but like you can watch any of the Iron Man movies by themselves, any of the Spider Man movies by themselves. So yes, you can watch it, but it's better if you've seen the other, you know, parts to the series because there's references to things that have happened. But
Mm,
then it's also just like, you know, there's references to like historic figures. So you're always going to kind of feel a
mm,
little bit like in the dark. People like to, act like, it's easy to follow. It's like it's not, especially if you're reading it in sub. That was one
mm-hmm.
of my big issues with Lord of the Mysteries. Did you watch Lord of the Mysteries?
No, no, I haven't seen it.
I thought it was a horrible adaptation. Like just super clumsy, way too much like information. Like every episode felt like that Culling Games explanation episode,
Mm,
except
yeah.
it was paired with amazing animation and then some really cool fights. But I mean, just the most dense conversation, heavy. Like I felt like I
Mm.
was studying for a midterm trying
Yeah.
to watch one of those episodes. Man. I'm like, God, you know? And then the fans were so obnoxious. You know what's crazy to me? And I don't know, do you maybe you might experience this. One Piece fans get a bad rep. Like a lot of people say that the One Piece fans are some of the worst fans in anime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Are you asking
understand
if
it
I
at all.
agree or do I experience that?
Do you I guess both. Do you agree or have you seen One Piece fans kind of moving in a
Um,
toxic way?
I don't think so. I think we're probably one of the more passionate fan bases. Like,
Yeah,
I
I agree
think
with that.
we're I think we're overwhelmingly. I think the One Piece fandom is growing in a way that probably annoys people, but I don't think we're like inherently like annoying. Like, I think I think ultimately people don't like how confidently we stand in like, yeah, One Piece is the greatest of all time. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you feel that way, but
Oh, I feel like
I definitely feel that way. I don't think it's
it's my
close.
favorite. It's my favorite anime by
I
far.
just don't think it's even close, man. Like, I don't know. It depends on like what you want out of your like nerd
Yeah,
media. But ultimately me what I'm always looking for is like robust world building. And
yeah,
like to me that when you're talking about shonens that like span over like hundreds, sometimes even thousands of episodes, um, what are we doing if not world building? Like,
right.
how often are we introducing characters, new civilizations with our own lore? Um, I don't think it's even close. I don't think there's any anime even close. And like, yeah, you can compare I don't know, something shorter like a Cowboy Bebop or something, which is great, obviously classic, but it's just like when you just see what One Piece has done for the consistency, I just think it's not even close. And maybe that can be obnoxious to people about how confidently we feel like One
Yeah.
Piece is by far the number one. And to me, it's bar none. Like, I like Naruto. I don't think it's even close. Like, I think there's moments in Naruto that like of course match up to One Piece, and Naruto might have more influence. Naruto definitely beats One Piece in a few different categories, like fight choreography, sometimes even like really good like core main cast that they explored. But One Piece has for every like two characters in Naruto that are good, like One Piece has 20. Like, there's
100%.
hundreds of
100%.
relevant characters in One Piece that all have history, lore, great moments, climaxes, character development. Like, it's just not even close. So I could see people being annoyed at that. But I don't think we're inherently insufferable. I think we
I
just love what we
that's
love.
it. And I agree 100%. I just feel like One Piece fans are very passionate about One Piece, very proud and like sure that One Piece is the best anime ever. I don't feel like we necessarily go up to other people and we're like, our anime. I mean, we're saying it, but we're not saying it to people. Like, if you're talking about
Yeah.
Naruto, I'm not going to come over there and be like, yeah, but One Piece is better. That's what I feel like is like toxic or like, oh God, get away from me with that. But if I'm just standing
I
here
get
on
that
my
sometimes in
page,
the comments.
oh, you do? See, I don't really see that too often. Like, that's why it's hard for me to understand why people have such an issue with the One Piece fandom. I see that more with like Naruto. I see it with Dragon Ball. Um, I see it with solo leveling a ton. Um, Even like JJK. I know a lot of people love JJK and it's like their favorite thing, but I don't really see them, you know, going over and being like, my anime is better than yours. They're just saying, I really love it. I think this is the best anime. So I feel like
Hmm.
I feel like One Piece is growing. It's really just, I feel like it's hating. I feel like people are just hating on how big One Piece is getting. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's massive now. We got the manga, the anime, and the live action, and the live action is just like crushing too. So and then they're getting a
I love the
second
live
adaptation.
action.
You love the
I
live
saw a
action?
bit. Yeah, I love the live action. I think
Oh,
I don't know, maybe you didn't, but like oh, in general, I think I'm lighter on things than most people. Like I have some things that I genuinely don't like, but usually it's more of a preference thing. Like
sure.
for me, like you guys are gonna hate me, but I did not like Code Geass. Did not like that
Oh,
show.
okay.
Mainly not because I don't think it's good, but I generally don't gravitate towards MCs that kind of have a god complex. Like I know that's the
Okay.
point, but
So no
like
Death Note.
I I thought Death Note season 1 was really good, but he really started to annoy me towards the later seasons and I was very happy when L died or when Light died.
Oh,
I was actually
spoiler!
sad when L died. Sorry. I mean, it's been
Double
out for
double
20
spoilers.
years.
No, yeah,
but
it's good.
but
Togias. I mean,
but
I get it.
Lelouch, it's more just like I don't gravitate towards stuff like that. So it's like with that said, with One Piece, like I love One Piece. I've bought into the idea of One Piece. So any more One Piece, I'm happy with it as long as it's not completely ass like that Avatar movie in like 2008 or
Yeah, that's
2010, whenever that came out. Um, but I think it's good. I think Anaki is probably my least favorite actor on the show. I think
probably, yeah.
Zoro's actor is really good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sanji.
Chopper's like the animations are really good. Sanji, Usopp, like I even love like the Vivi the Vivi I was gonna say cosplayer, but the Vivi actor. I know
Yeah.
that there's like hate on that, but that just goes back to the insufferable like
Yeah.
red pilled anime fan base is like, oh, she has to be white because she's light skinned in the anime. I'm just like, bro, like
Right.
clearly Alabasta is supposed to be the Middle East. So what are we talking about?
Seriously. It's just
Um,
kind of crazy. So
yeah, it's just
my
and
thing
it's like,
about
why does it even matter?
I I don't know. I have my reasons. I think people feel like America's a lot further along, or just cultures are a lot further along than they are. But that stuff doesn't go away.
Hmm.
Like if you, I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, well, I heard my grandfather say stuff that's kind of crazy." Well, that means that he probably said it to your dad. That means your dad probably made a couple of crazy comments too. It just doesn't go away. It takes so much time to completely be removed from a culture because it's always in that back of the head. But my feelings about the live action, I think they did a great job with it. You know what I mean? Like I think that it's amazing. The problem is I saw the anime. And so
Hmm.
I know that they're referring to the manga, but I'm in love with the anime. Like I've been watching this anime for over 20 years. So every small difference bothers me. It's the same as when I watch Full Metal Alchemist and then tried to watch Brotherhood, which is supposed to be the better version. All the differences drove me crazy. So
Really?
I don't it's not that I think that, you know, the One Piece live action is bad. I think all anime live actions are adaptations are bad, but I thought that they did one of the better jobs. Like if I never saw
Yeah.
the anime, I would have been like, "Oh, this is really cool." You know what I mean? But for me, I'll give you a perfect example. They smashed together the Baratier with Arlong Park, and it just
Hmm.
absolutely like just they took out the walk. Like when Nami asked Luffy for help, and then Nami, Zoro, I mean sorry, Luffy, Zoro, Usopp, and Sanji walked to Arlong Park. That's that's the moment for me when it locked in. Like it was like, it's not just silly. It's not just like silliness, you know. These people
Hmm.
are serious for their friends, you know. Uh, so that was a big moment that they just kind of had to like bulldoze through. And
Did
I
they?
and
That would have been season one. Did they do the scene with Luffy putting his hat on Nami in the live action? I don't remember.
I don't even think they did. I don't even
Damn,
think he did that. You know,
that's actually kind of sad.
they, I know that they didn't do the walk, and I know that like they kind of altered the story. Um, and so Arlong shows up at the Baratier, which was just like weird. Um,
Mm.
and so he was like the villain of the Baratier. I don't even think they had Don Krieg. I can't remember because it was so long ago, and I was only watching it because like my followers like was like, please watch it, please, you know, make some videos. And I made my videos and I gave my honest opinion, and everyone's like, oh, you're just a hater. I'm like, I'm not. I told y'all before, I don't want to watch this thing. But that's again, it's because I love One Piece. Like it's not like I like One Piece. Like I do Kaiju number 8. I don't care. Do Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't care. Those are not like my favorite anime. You know, I think you're gonna have a hard time. I think it's gonna be some goofy looking stuff, but I'm not gonna care that much. All the moments in One Piece matter to me. Like, what are they gonna do with Skypiea? How? How, man? It's gonna look crazy. You know, like Gear Fourth. Uh, I think they're gonna skip Gear Third. You know, I think
You
they have
think?
to. I think they have to. I think they're gonna go I think they're gonna go from Gear Second into Gear Fourth, but they're gonna slim down Gear Fourth into more of the Snake Man version.
Mm. Yeah, that kind of brings me to one of my qualms is I feel like Zoro in season 2 specifically, Zoro had some of the best fight scenes, but a lot of it is because it's all practical effects.
Yeah,
He's doing a
right.
lot of his actual stunts and whatnot. But with Luffy, I felt like they definitely held back on the CGI. And even in some instances, I felt like they almost made him either nerfed him or made him dumber. Um, I think it was Mr. 3. Like somebody pointed this out in a video. Mr. 3, is that the one who kind of that he fought that made like the uh
Candle
the
wax.
clones of himself?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was one scene in the anime where like Mr. 3 has like a bunch of like clones and like Luffy basically off of instinct because that's one thing that they always sold us on is like Luffy's instinct. He got the real one on the first try. But in the or in the live action, he basically just like gum gatlinged all of them until he found the right one. And I'm just like, that's hit so much less hard. Like for him to
Mm-hmm.
just like do it until like you till he figures out which one rather
Right.
than just him knowing. I'm just like, why would you even do that? Like,
And
and why I
that's what I'm
saved
talking about.
like the gum gatling for this scene. Um, and just in certain times, he just felt really incompetent. Like in the Town scene, like it just didn't really hit. Like I don't know. He doesn't feel like the strongest Straw Hat. Ironically, I feel like Zoro feels like the strongest Straw Hat right now,
And it's
currently in the live action. And I
and
think it's all just because of CGI.
it's easier to make it look more realistic with Zoro than it is to do Luffy. And so that's only going to get worse. Like
But
how do
then I
you do
see
Shabanu?
that. Yeah, but then I see like the Fantastic Four movie I thought was good and like I see the stretchy like mechanics for Mr. Fantastic and they make it look great. So I'm just like is it just a budget thing? Like
I
is
was
it
gonna say
because it's one big movie? Like
those are
way to
massive
make it
budgets.
look good. Yeah.
That's a I mean the budgets, you know, and One Piece has a crazy budget, but movies, you know, are completely different. And then like a bigger staff, everything is just bigger for the film. So, you know, I think that's what's going on there. They could do it. It's possible that they can make it look better. And I think for the money that they have, they again, they did a great job on the adaptation. And if I've never seen the anime, I'd be like, man, this is really cool. This is a really cool thing. I just seen the anime and I've read the manga.
Nah, I
And
get it.
so I
I
just,
definitely get it. I wonder what it's gonna be like when the Wit Studio one drops, like, which I'm hearing like a lot
I'm
of
really
people are
curious.
really angry about it because, like, with the pacing, they're like, oh, like they're gonna do like the I forget exactly what they said, but I think they were like, yeah, from the first episode to Arlong Park is gonna be one season of like 8 episodes or something, and
Yeah,
people are like,
it's a
no, this
lot.
is such a disgrace. Like, there's no way they can cover everything that they need. Um, which I don't mind because the original anime exists. So if
Hmm.
there is like a streamlined way to re-experience, because I want to rewatch One Piece. One Piece is my favorite anime. I've only technically seen it once, but I'm just like, I don't know if I have time to watch it again. I
You
think I'm
gotta
gonna
you
read
gotta
through
rewatch
it.
it. You gotta rewatch it.
I
I'm
know.
rewatching it with my girl, and it's so good, man. Like and
Yeah, that's
you forget stuff. Like I really forgot Skypiea because Skypiea used to be my favorite art, and I honestly couldn't remember why. Now that I'm rewatching it, I remember why. It's like the heart
mm,
of One Piece. Like
mm,
it's like the dream, it's the fantasy, it's the just when they get to Skypiea, how excited they are. You know what I mean? Like it's not just about becoming the strongest or the Hokage or you know what I mean? Like Luffy is on an adventure. They're all on an adventure together. Even Chopper, just like reintroducing myself to Chopper. He's now like my second favorite character because he's like so excited to be on this journey with these friends and
yeah.
going to these different places. You know, because his life was going to be like just in that snow drum island. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
oh,
No,
so yeah,
it really hits with Chopper because like he has probably one of the more grounded things, and I always, like I said, gravitate towards like grounded approaches. And like he's just like, I want to heal people, and like I want to be a pirate because like my idol is Doctor Hero, and like he told me pirates are like the coolest things ever, and like having
yeah,
friends is like all that matters in this world. And like you go from Drum Island to, I don't know, I think maybe Jaya is in between. Um,
mm-hmm,
uh and then like they're, yeah, like them getting up there like was such a cool moment. Like I forgot about that moment until you brought it back, but I just remember them being like, yes, like we did it. And like it's
right,
crazy because that moment is tied to Blackbeard because, you know, right before they went up to Skypiea, Blackbeard's like, hey, they're gonna call you crazy, they're gonna say like this
great
and
speech,
that about like your dreams, but like you and me, we know what it is to like really follow our dreams. So if you think
right,
that there's a sky island up there, then you go up there and you explore it. And it's like just crazy that like that moment, like, you know, I've seen that meme so many times of that moment. But yeah, I love like just the moments where like they just like put all on the line and for whatever it is that they believe in that moment, and then like the pure bliss and joy. I'm just like, damn, I wish I was part of the crew. If I could ever
oh
be a straw hat, man, I should be the 10th member.
yeah. That's what I love anime that makes you feel that way. Like Fairy Tail's another one that's like that. Brandon is 100. I mean, news guy is 100% right. Like Fairy Tale is so good. Like it's slept on because it just makes you
Hmm.
feel like a straw hat. It makes you feel like a part of the guild. You know, like you don't really get that from like Naruto or um, definitely not from Bleach. I'm trying to think of like another
No.
anime that like where you kind of feel like you're part of that crew. I think that's why sports anime is so popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're part of the
Yeah.
team. At least with
Yeah. Blue
Haikyuu.
Lock.
Blue Lock was so interesting because it flies in the face of like all sports anime from Japan, where it's like all about the team. It's all about like you die down so that your team can be more popular. Like, but
Hmm.
man, that I'm not even like that big of a football fan or soccer if you want to say it, but man, those matches in Blue Lock are crazy. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and it is cool the approach of just like basically giving yourself the permission to like shine and like be
yeah,
the star, be the egoist that you need to be. Um and I like that they kind of like it kind of falls into reality a little bit, like about Japan never winning a World Cup, and also
Yeah,
being in Japan, and like, yeah, it is kind of a society that like they want you to work well within the system. They rarely want you to basically be the guy. So to kind of make an anime challenging that, like, I think it's really cool.
yeah.
And I don't know if you saw, they're doing like real life Blue Lock.
I did see that. I did.
Yeah,
I think Anime News Guy dropped a thing about it. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
really relate to Blue Lock because I feel like as a content creator, we're very much in a similar like space. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like we have mutuals and friends and we're making, you make friends and you work together, but at the same time we're also kind of competing. There's enough
yeah,
views to go around by for sure, but some people I can tell, you know, like they're watching, they want to, when you're doing good, they'll come around and they're like, they're always saying hi and stuff, and then when you're not doing as good, you don't hear anything from them. Or
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I'm not saying
No,
any
no,
names.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I feel you 100%. It is a interesting field that we're in, and like I think it like you'll probably feel that more with the people who make more content similar to you. For me, it's like the interviewer guys. It's like we all have like our relationships, but then there's also like the drama. Then there's also like who's copying who. Like
Oh,
a lot of it like gets, it can get personal, it can get competitive. And
that's
yeah, it's
crazy.
like when you're doing good, you're doing great. And like I think about it all the time. I'm just like, damn, like some people might only be friends with me because I have followers. And I'm just like, that's just so silly to me because like I am the same person. Like nothing really significantly has changed except maybe the people in my life,
Right,
or the people treat me different in my life. But it's an interesting space to be in. And ultimately you just have to accept that, yeah, we're in a way in competition with each other, but at the end of the day it doesn't mean that there's not room for all of us. And
right.
it's all motivation. Like you guys you like content creators like you, Brandon, Impound, so many content creators just definitely motivate me to want to be better.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like
mean,
you got to take it in stride.
the cool thing for me is like, I was watching your videos well before like probably like last year. I've seen like a lot of your videos, man. You know what I mean? Like it's like you get to meet people that like you're a fan of. It's weird to say fan, but like you enjoy their stuff. You're inspired by
Yeah,
it.
exactly, I know
And
what you
then
mean.
it also just inspires thoughts, like I think I even made a response video to that one that we were talking about earlier about women's role in the anime
Yeah, yeah,
world. um
yeah.
which I have a question. Are you responsible for a 1 out of 10 anime, 2 out of 10 anime? Name That's you, right?
Yes, yes, that was so just to
That was
be,
brilliant. When I saw
thank
that, I
you,
was like,
thank you.
"That's so smart." I never even thought, because everyone just says, rate this anime, but like picking like at that tier list, I think that's so smart, man.
So
That's some of my
I
favorite
can't
stuff.
fully take credit for the idea of a 1 through 10 list. So definitely the first one to do it when it comes to anime, which is usually the case a lot of the times. Because a lot of the times I'll take stuff that I see going on in other niches. So like I
Hmm.
mentioned earlier, I'm really big into music stuff. So I follow these content creators who were talking about songs that they would rate 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3, and all the way up till
Oh,
10. So I was just like, oh, this would be cool. I've never seen anybody do that with anime. So I'm just like, let me just bring it back to anime and like see, how much fun we can have there. Um, Similar to like this or that. I wasn't the first one to do
yeah,
this or that, but I was pretty early on like this or that. So I started seeing other people do those in different niches. So I'm like, oh,
yeah,
nobody's doing it in anime right now. So I usually try to be the first one to bring it into anime. And then usually how it goes is a bunch of other people start doing it. So I'm
yeah,
starting to see other people do other anime 1 through 10s. So it's like,
yeah.
I can't
I thought you
100%
were the
take
first.
credit. Yeah, no, I was definitely the first one, like easily with that.
Now,
But like I made up the idea of a 1 through 10. I just was the first one to do it with anime. This recent weekend I did 1 through 10s but for anime characters. So that'll be interesting.
mm,
Like a
That's a
one out
tough
of
one.
10 anime character.
I don't even know if that's what I was hoping we would do. I actually wrote my 1 out of 10 out because I was like, man,
Okay.
if he asked me about 1 out of 10, what animes would I say? Because it's like it's easy to pick like 1 and 2, and then like the like 8 through 10, but like the middle ones, that's where I was like, I don't want it to be standing there like uh 4
A
out
lot
of
of people write
10.
write them down. I wish we did one. I know we did the Naruto Luffy one, but next time
No,
we'll
no, that
do a
was
1 through
cool.
10 if you're down.
Yeah, no, that was cool. That was like and it gave me a chance to really like think about like those things. Yeah, I loved your content, man. Like I think you do a great
Thank you.
job, and it's like because I feel like a lot of yours, it's impossible to know the source of everything, and I know we all do like the if it's working in another niche, we can bring it into our niche. But I just feel like a lot of stuff I see from you first, and so it's like, yeah, it's cool. It's been cool. Actually, it's we went way over the time, but man,
A little
I've had a
bit.
great
Sorry.
time. No, no, man. I mean, this is great. I could literally keep going, but I do have some stuff to do, and I know you have stuff to do because we're both busy. But we have to do it again. Like, let's
Hell yeah.
let's
Definitely
plan
would
on
love to
doing
come
it
back.
again, man. Because man, it was an absolute blast. Uh, let people know where they can find you. What's your handle? I mean, you got it
Well,
right
thank you
there on the
guys,
screen.
for sticking with us. We've been yapping for a minute. It was an absolute pleasure, and it's just so cool to like finally like, bridge the gap and like be able to talk with you like online and like do content together outside of, what we have already done. But yeah, you guys can find me John Marco Ass on all platforms, so Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of them. It's all John Marco Asks on all platforms. I usually am doing anime interviews, anime recommendations, anime hot takes, 1 through 10s, this or that, whatever it is, whatever I feel like doing when I'm at a con. And you'll see more like talking head videos from me as well. So thank you guys for just sticking with us for this conversation. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. And if you came a little late, I'm going to be putting this whole video up by the end of the day. So you'll be able to find the entire conversation because it was a great one. And I know you'll get you'll enjoy it a lot. So until the next time, stay casual.
Hell yeah. Do we hang up?
Nope, nope.